Hello, my name's Chano. Uh, this is new to me, this whole YouTube stuff. So I've never done woodworking before. Most of my specialization is refrigeration and air conditioning. So woodworking is kind of what I want to do. Learn how to do it, specifically CNC, and understand how to do projects, art, furniture. Basically, you can make anything with CNC, and it's not just with wood, but it's also with metals and whatnot. So I'm hoping to make the channel about that CNC and what I can do with it. So for this video, I'm gonna be making a plaque for a boss of mine that I had, and he helped me break into the industry that I was going towards. And so he's no longer with me. He went to a different industry, not a different industry, but like a different competitor, I guess, a different organization, to go be director over there. And so I wanted to make him a plaque just to commemorate it and, you know, thank him for letting me in and giving me a chance to break into the industry and basically be an engineer. So first things first, I need to draw it out, and then from there design it up in CAD and get it sent to the CNC. So here's that. All right, so now that that's all done, I'm gonna set up the machine, get everything dialed in, set up and ready to go, and then I'm gonna fire it. And while that's going, I'm gonna be cleaning up this whole mess that I have over here. So while the machine's going, I'll have that to do. So stay tuned. Alright, so the plan is to put it on a 9.5 by 16.5 piece of cherry. I think it's 1 inch. Let me see. Oh, I know. Yeah, it's about 1 inch. So, do the first side with what I drew up earlier, and then flip it over to put the letter form. And then from there, I'm using is it Armada? Yeah, Armada tool, 60-degree bit at 40, if I remember correctly. Feed rate's at 40 inches per minute, plunge rate's at 20 inches per minute, and the depth of pass is about 1/4 inch. So on simulation, the front side should take about an hour. So shouldn't take too long to get it done. So all I gotta do now, I put this up early. There's a step process with this CNC that you're supposed to do. It asks you to set X and Y, your 0 point, and then it asks you to take the dust shoe off. Check your Z with the self-probing. And then you raise up the router, plug in your dust shoe, and then fire up the dust collection, and it should be good to go from there. But so let's go through that. I've already found exactly where I want it. 0 on it. So materials an inch. Secure. You definitely want to secure your pieces when you CNC, just because I've done it before where I've ruined cutting boards, CNCing and walking away, and then realizing, because I was using CNC tape on the back of it, and then realizing that the tape didn't hold, and so the router literally just moved it all over the place. It was a huge mess. Work 0 Pro, confirm position, clip is attached, check for ground. There, in place. Cool. So now this goes away. Control put away. Yep, that's exactly where I want to be. Which is over here. Such. Oops. You gotta drop it down, a little bit of pressure. Oh gosh. There we go. Smooth the pressure so it actually holds and collects. Check. Alright. And then you just turn the spindle on, start spinning, now I'm ready to bar. So So while this thing's running, I'm going to have dust collection going and my ears in while I cut up the boxes. So here we go. So this is a bummer. Apparently my phone, camera, whatever, got too hot and it cut out mid carving. But oh, I guess so far it's not too bad. I don't know why I did this. Actually, let me move it over. Jog the machine. Set it up. Send it back. Oops. So that's final product. Not too shabby. I don't know what happened in my programming, but like these lines were supposed to be down to 1/4 of an inch, but it hardly gave me that. It just didn't give me that. It just carved out little lines, probably not even a 16th, maybe a millimeter or two. Because all these sections, I mean, it gave me a 1/4 inch here, which turned out okay. Everything turned out okay. This one didn't. I don't like that. You can't see the 7 very well. So I'm gonna have to take a little chisel and just cut little lines because they're there. I can see them, but they don't show. That came out good. This came out good. It was just this came out a little. I don't know. It just came out a little too light. I didn't like that, but overall, not too bad. Not too bad. These lines, I like how they go in, but like for example, this one didn't follow all the way, and then this line, the windshield line, that was supposed to go around, connect these two parts, and these two parts isn't there, so I'm gonna have to carve that in myself. But yeah, not bad, not bad, pretty freaking nice. So I'm gonna flip it over and run the back and put the letter and scribe that whole spiel. So hang tight. we're ready for the back end. You saw me do the front end with the chisel. I did my best to try and get the lines in. It's not the best, but that's what I could think of. So I'm gonna fire up CNC, get it going, put my little letter on the back, and I'm gonna put maybe one, maybe two hinges? No, not hinges. What are those things called? I don't know. I have them somewhere among all this mess. Somewhere over here I have those little hinge things. You put them on the back and you can hang them up on the wall, but it's got like a bunch of teeth on it. So you can like pick which one does the perfect thing. I don't know. I feel like doing one would be beneficial, but because this is pretty big, I think two would probably be better. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But for right now, I'm gonna get this thing going and we'll go from there. This is all done. Exactly what I wanted on there is on there. So I'm gonna dig through my stuff. I think it's under here somewhere in these boxes, the little clippy things that I'm talking about. I think they're under there. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on at the end. I need to take this and dunk it in this container here. There's a bunch of oil in there. I mean, special like wood oil in a sense. Basically, whatever wood project you're working on, you take it and you can either put oil stains, whatever you like, I guess. So there's different stains, different colors that you can do to make the wood look, I guess, mimic other types of wood. And the best example I could give is like, if you want to mimic like a walnut, like a dark wood, you put a dark stain on it. Or if you want a red stain to mimic bloodwood, you can do a red stain. But for this one, I'm just gonna go with a natural cherry, natural look of the wood. Just dunk it, put it in, and I'll see the final result. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I got it out. I haven't opened this in a while, but that's basically what the oil looks like. And it's like a mix of oil and packs. It's basically this stuff. Is it this stuff? Yeah. Walrus oil. So I actually need to fill it up some more. I'm a little low. But it basically seals the wood in a sense. Keeps water, because it's got wax and oil on it. Wax, I'm pretty sure wax is. Might have to double check me on that one, but I know for a fact oil doesn't mix well with water, so it acts, what's it called? What was it in chemistry? Hydrophobic. Hydrophobic, that's the term. That water and oil don't like each other, they repel each other. And wax, if I remember correctly, again, not completely sure, but I believe wax doesn't go well with water either. That's why a lot of wax rings, if you've heard that term, a lot of wax rings are used in like toilets and whatnot. For like the drainage part of the toilet going out, usually into like a 2-inch line or so. But yeah, so oil, wax, a lot of water, which in case of wood, seals wood pretty well. So before I do that, I should probably put some gloves on. I don't want my hands to be all dirty. The other reason too is because our hands and our skin actually has oil on it as well. It's like a natural occurring thing that our skin does. Produces oil of its own. So I wouldn't want any of my oil, my own oil I guess, to mix in with it. Do that like this. And then it's the back of the top. Try it so you'll see the difference right now. Goes in, push down, flip it, send it down, up, let it drizzle. So all already. Man, oh man, you can just see it. Complete difference. Huge difference. And how the wood pops. Yeah. So I need to dry this. Best way to do it. I don't know if I don't have a black here. I guess I could just put it on that. It's quite a lot more. Yeah. I'll put it over here to dry. Maybe I should do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. So that all the oil up here can migrate down, make its way out, and then I'll give it a nice buff at the end. So I can get all excess oil out and really rub the oil in. And then we'll be done. And then we'll be done. So I just gotta wait for that to dry, or I guess runoff. All the runoff goes back into the container, seal it back up, and then that should do it for that. But I figured I'll go more in depth on why exactly I chose the design that I did and what's so meaningful behind this plaque. So why did I pick the Corvette, the 1974, that whole shebang? Why did I pick it? So to backtrack, I'm an engineer, as I said earlier. I'm a station engineer specifically for a hospital. I'm the guy who takes care of all the electrical, the plumbing, nurse call systems, life safety systems, chillers, boilers, refrigerators, freezers, medical fridges and freezers, all that stuff. Everything, all the amenities basically that you see inside of a hospital. I'm the one who's basically a part of the department who handles all that stuff. Maintenance, repairs, things of the sort. It's not easy to break into the healthcare industry specifically, especially at my age. I'm 26 years old. Most people, at least in the state of California, most people don't break in until the mid-30s, early 30s. So for me to have gone into the interview and the director had taken a chance on me basically and said, you know what, you don't know everything, you're not fully seasoned as some would say as other engineers, but I see you as clay and I see you as being able to make you into the engineer that I want you to be. Instead of you coming in with bad habits, I can teach you good habits and make you into the, basically like I said, into the engineer that I would like you to be, so you can serve best serve the hospital as a representation of the department as best seen fit. This is a good way to put it. And so he took a chance on me and brought me in, even though I only had technically on paper, if you count my schooling and whatnot, if you count my schooling all together, I have about 6 years of experience, but of actual like raw experience in the field, I only had about 3 years, and most hospitals want to see at least 5 to 7. So I wasn't quite in the ballpark, but he took a chance on me and let me in, and it's changed my life completely. I mean, I originally wanted to be a registered nurse because my father is a station engineer for another hospital. He was the one who would see all the nurses and he kind of pushed me towards being a nurse. I got all the way up to prereqs of about microbiology, anatomy and physiology, and I got burnt out. It wasn't for me. I figured it wasn't for me, and at that point he told me, well, you can work full-time, or gave me an ultimatum. You work full-time or you be an engineer. You could do what I did. So I decided to do what he did, and it's treated me very, very well. It's gotten me far in life. I've learned many things, and it's gotten me to meet a ton of people from a lot of different walks of life. But I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but it's just the thoughts that are coming to me at the moment. I'm not used to having a camera on me. This is kind of, I've done it before. I think I've only done like 2 videos before, but this is the first like official video, I guess, that I'm doing in a sense that's about woodworking. But to bring it back, when I found out that the director was leaving and he was going to another hospital, I asked him, I was like, what was something of value to you? Something valuable to him. And he had told me that it was his Corvette, his 1974 Stingray Corvette that his father had left him when he had passed. And it was a dark black Corvette, I think originally red, if I remember the conversation that we had, but it's now dark black, almost like a glistening black in a sense. And it's one of the last things I'd imagine that he has of his father before his father passed. And so I figured, ever since that conversation, I thought, I'm gonna make a plaque for him for when I wanted to try and get it done before he left, but unfortunately he already left, so I'm gonna go and see him and hand it to him and make sure he gets it. But that's what came up with the design. That's the 1974, that whole thing. And kind of on a whim, while I was designing, I decided to do the little letter on the back as a thank you. So that way I figured, wherever he puts it, he'll have it hung up. It's a nice decoration, whether for his office, his house, wherever. Or, it could end up in a storage chest somewhere, I don't know. But as long as, it's something meaningful that I am wanting to give to him. That's why I wanted that to be on there in the back, as a thank you for taking a chance on somebody and bringing somebody who it was still new to the field and giving him a chance at basically showing what he's got and being able to, I guess, grow and learn from senior engineers. And I guess in a sense, the way how he put it one time was like the cycle of life. Like, as engineers retire, you need to backfill it with new engineers. And so when you're at a facility like mine's been around since the 1920s or so. It's been around for about 100 years. And if you think about it, that's about, most people either run through 20 or 40 years worth of, I guess, career when it comes to jobs like that. And so if you really think about it, 100 years, that's about either, on average, it's about 2 to 4 generations worth of people cycling through the building. I mean, we had one engineer who just retired a while ago, and it was like, yeah, it was a few weeks ago, but he 36 years. He had 36 years at the hospital. I mean, that man knew top to bottom everything. He knew where every valve was, oh, we did this over here. I remember they were working on stuff over here. Stuff that was literally, you would never see in a book unless if somebody wrote it down, or unless if you were there and you were part of the project. So to be able, not to be able, but to be allowed into that type of atmosphere and to learn from other engineers, I guess it's a godsend in a way. It's like you get to step in the halls and see where so many others have been over the past 100 or so years, and it's almost like it's like the other engineers aren't there. They're no longer there. Many of them have passed on. Others have retired, and others have moved on from that hospital to other hospitals. But just the history, just to know that you're walking through a facility that has so much history, and like you're looking at pipes and structures that have been there for decades. I enjoy history a lot, so to me it's like, wow, it's like literally my turn to walk through these halls to cater to the people and provide, not health, well, I guess it's, in a sense, it's a form of healthcare, but it's in my own special way, I guess, of being able to keep things operating and functioning for the hospital. But again, me rambling and going on about it, but again, I'm not used to having a camera on me, so. But it was very fascinating, very, very fascinating to have been allowed to come into the hospital scene, get it going. But enough about that. I found the hooks. They are right over here. I guess they weren't the little jagged tooth things that I was talking about. They're more so like these little ear hooks. I don't know what to call them. But yeah, I'm gonna put these on one on each side. So I'm gonna draw a line, 1/4 inch one way, 1/4 inch another way on both ends, and then wherever it intersects, that's where I'm gonna drill it in and plop it. So hopefully it should turn out pretty good. I'm gonna wrap it up and then probably go hand it to him in person. Maybe. He works for a hospital, so I can't enter another hospital without reason to, so I'll find some way to get it to him. I'll probably snap a picture. I don't know. But yeah. So thanks for watching. Again, my first video on woodworking. I'm hoping that the channel grows. I'm hoping that I can build things for the viewer, for you, I guess. You know, I have ideas and things circulating in my head that I want to put out there for people to see and I guess learn. Because again, this is new to me. I'm a refrigeration specialist. That's my forte. Woodworking is not really my forte, but I'm hoping to learn, and this could be like a journey for both of us, I guess, as I go through and learn and run the machine and make a bunch of different things here and there. But yeah, so like, subscribe, and I hope to see you around. Thanks.